Hello, good evening, and welcome. So happy to see you all here tonight with me, the best and brightest audience in the entire fountain pen community. I am humbled to have you here with me each week, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And of course, I release videos each Thursday afternoon at noon as well. So thank you so much for being here. And if you do join me here each week, watch the replay or listen to me through podcasts here on YouTube, the only thing I ask is that you subscribe. I'd love to have you on this journey with us, because we go to some pretty extraordinary places. And I truly believe that the fountain pen is the means through which we can open many doors and explore them and learn things and come together as a community, because I've never claimed to know everything. In fact, this channel was founded on the idea that this is a journey. This is my fountain pen journey to learn things, to share things with you as I discover them. So I think that's kind of an interesting perspective. And as you learn my tastes and the things that I get hung up on, I think you can sort of adapt that to how you see fountain pens, notebooks, journals, journaling, inks, all the different stationery items and other cultural items that we encounter, and see whether or not that fits into your world. So thank you so much. And I see that many of the usual suspects are here in the chat. Actually, I can't see that. And the reason is that I am recording this live on Sunday, and I'm looking at the time. It's 4:30 on a Sunday for me. And for you, it's Tuesday night at around 8 p.m. And the reason is, while you watch me here live and it seems like I'm live, I'm actually sitting in the audience watching my daughter at a choral event, which I am absolutely excited to do. So this is a little bit of sort of a time jump. So let's do the time jump again, shall we? And spend an hour together. And I'll try to make it as live as I can, because I do have an interesting show for you. And I actually miss seeing all of you. I kind of wish you were here with me as I record this, but I am thinking of you as I record this. So what I'm going to do during this time together is I want to talk a little bit about some of the pens that I have been working in my life, into my life, and how I sort of demo my pens and how I put them through their paces, if you will, before I make a video. So there's two. One I just went through that process and I just filmed with, and that is the Mayfair pen Noldor, which I had a blast filming with. So much fun because there were Lord of the Rings associations that I could pull into the video, talk about the history of the brand, all of that. So I'm super excited about that. That will be coming up in my rotation. Right now it's scheduled for May, but maybe I'll move it up. I don't know. Sometimes I scramble my videos in my rotations. So I generally am posting out about 8 or 10 videos. And since it's one a week, that gives you an idea of kind of my lead time. But sometimes I move some up. So if you join the channel as a member, you will be in the end credits. But you may see yourself suddenly appear in the end credits and then disappear. And if that happens, it doesn't mean you're no longer a member or I forgot about you or anything like that. It simply means that I probably moved you up in the order, or excuse me, moved the video up in the order of posting. And then you will eventually be there each week. And of course, for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members, I have a pen pal group. So if you'd like to be part of that, then sign up. There's a join button down at the bottom there. I'd love to have you. So another big part of tonight's proceedings is the Asvine V800, which has been sitting here desperately screaming for attention, saying, please, Hemingway, give me some love. I need your opinion. I need to know what it's like to write with this. And I decided the best way to do it, to get it out there, is to do it live. So in real time, I will gas this up and write with it and give my opinions and talk a little bit about the history of Asvine as well. You know, I want to call it Asvine sometimes, like Italian style, but it's I imagine Asvine. Asvine just sounds, it doesn't come off trippingly from the tongue. Not that many of the words that I pronounce ever do, because I know my pronunciation is idiosyncratic at its best. So, but yes, the big part of this proceedings this evening will be me reviewing and experiencing this in real time. I have some ink, have some paper, I have everything we need to do so. So we'll get to that in a few moments. I do want to say a few things about recent videos. Last week, perhaps kind of coincidentally, right? Because we did the Hongdian M2, which is close at hand. And remember, it has cats on it. Is there any more reason to love a fountain pen than the fact that it has cats? So if you want to see a whole review of this, it's out there. It was last week's video. It's a splendid pen, that's the spoiler, but there's a lot going on with it. It's really interesting. It still has a green nib because it was affected by Lamy Darth Lilac ink, which turns everything this beetle green, which I wish were permanent. I wish there were more colored nibs out there besides TWSBI and their rainbow nibs and a few others. I believe Conklin did some nibs too. But a brilliant pen. This would be a high contender for a sort of top 5 EDC list, which I haven't done in a while. I think I will do again because this is a good contender, along with pens like the brass or bronze Sport, which is another great one. But this is very robust and not so precious that you would be upset were it lost. 20 bucks. Nice pen though. You can hear that clicky. It's nice. Great action on this pen. So that's a recent video that went up last week. This week's video is the only 5 fountain pens you need. Stop buying pens, as if any of us are going to do that. But I do tell you my opinion on the 5 fountain pens that you need, and that's all you need. So engage with this video. I think you'll have a nice time with it. It's fun, it's interesting. As with many of my ideas, they're a bit of like a polemic, but sort of a gentle polemic. I'm making a point and I want to get your opinion and see whether or not I've hit all the major categories. And if you take any issue with anything I say, I encourage you, though in a respectful and polite tone, to engage with me and let me know your opinion. And the only topic that will be off, now I'm doing the Lucy Liu thing from Kill Bill, but you know where I'm coming from. I do love to engage with you guys in the comments. I love our comments. The conversation keeps going. So speaking of which, I see thumbs up going. Thank you so much. I don't actually see it because I'm not live, but I wish I were. And this is about when I would be noticing thumbs up popping to let the YouTube algorithm know that we are live and that people like it. So I appreciate it. Any sort of interaction helps, and comments and chats. And I love that you guys are here. And this is why I work so hard that even on a week I can't be with you, I pretend I'm with you so that you have something that you can interact and chat with. And I don't want to disrupt the community when I can. And usually, sometimes I make a video, but I think this is almost better, right? Because it's that live dynamic. And I think it's valuable, actually. If this piece of, that sounds terrible. If this pen is not very good, you'll see it in real time. You'll see me struggle if there's a struggle to be had. And if there's not, and it's gentle, then you'll see that too. So, interesting, yeah. It's funny what it says in the back here. It says, Asvine V800 Fountain. It stops after AI, and then it says wrench, blue-brown, and new. So, this should be interesting and fun. I can't wait. That's coming up very shortly, and I can't wait to share what I found about the history of Asvine with you. And I'll probably pronounce it 3 different ways. That's what I do. Also, do you see the hair? My great wave is great waving. I did get it trimmed up on the sides and the back, but I'm kind of proud of this wave. I'm going to embrace the wave. I'm not sure how much I'm going to let it break, if I'm going to let it go more. I don't know. No one knows. But we'll figure it out. Okay. My regular pen kit still consists of the ST DuPont, the fountain pen of a psychopath. That's a title of a video. I'm not referring to myself. Although it seemed like it, didn't it? That's why I kept Hannibal Lecter off of the thumbnail, because I wanted it to kind of be a surprise. In the first couple seconds, I could be speaking about myself. So it was a lot of fun. So catch that video if you haven't already. This is the ST DuPont DeFi, an absolutely brilliant pen that destroys the myth that gold nibs are superior, because this just has an absolutely brilliant steel nib. There's a lot of my notes from making videos. You can see here, nice bottle of Konpeki. I wonder what I'll use that for. But look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful shaped pen. I didn't do such a great job there. ST DuPont. I can't tell you how soft, not soft, how smooth that nib is. I just slide across the page. If I were to sort of put blinders on you and then had you write with this and then another gold nib, I would challenge you to tell that this one is not gold. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so this is one of the pens that I am writing with quite a bit. And hi, here I am. I forgot to put myself up there. I've been using my Lockbee and my rickshaw. My rickshaw is in the other room. I've got the Visconti Homo sapiens in here. The Waterman Expert, this video is coming up, I think, in a week or two. I am so jazzed to share this with you. This is going to be a fun video when it comes out. And then two Legacies, these are coming out too. This one was a delightful gift from Brendan Schmidt at Atlas. So I compare these two. That's going to be a lot of fun. Set this aside. Legacy. This is one of those pens that's wicked smooth too. Schaefer, modern Schaefer. This is William Penn Schaefer. I have a lot to say about this. That's coming up in a few weeks. Oops, little miss there. You see that? A lot to say about this. The Hemingway Jones. What do you call that? I guess that's an autograph. That's on the bottom of my letters from the Pen Pal group. So if you join the Pen Pal group, you get letters from me. You certainly get a welcome letter. I try to write when I can otherwise. But I'm so busy. Boy, it's been crazy. Work is so busy. It's been so challenging, but interesting. Like, I'm learning so much. I love that my job is interesting every day. And then on the weekends, I film. It's Sunday as I record this. I filmed actually Thursday night, the A-roll, this is called A-roll when the person's on the camera speaking to you. And then B-roll is the kind of writing shots or images of a person writing or anything else that fills in the narrative. That's called B-roll. So if you hear me say B-roll, A-roll, that's what I'm talking about. I'm so jargony as I learn to edit. So I did my A-roll for the Mayfair pen on Thursday night, and then the B-roll I did Saturday. So that was my production schedule for that one. Sometimes I get up early on Saturdays at like 6 and I do my A-rolls before everybody wakes up. So I did want to touch a little bit on this. I certainly don't want to ruin my upcoming video that I did a lot of work on. But one of the funny things, which is kind of typical for me, is that I read the note that Ben Stewart included with this after I did the video. So you can unscrew the nib. There it is. Very nice. Well, dirty as usual. You know me. I'm very careless. And then the barrel unscrews. It's reverse threaded. There it is, filled up. So you push it away from yourself, and there's a lot of threads. Why are there so many threads? You may wonder. Why so many threads, Hemingway? Why so many threads? Well, for a very good reason. You can eyedropper this if you like. I didn't, but you can. So with that, you would just silicone grease it. Grease it up with silicone grease, and you can see it would be quite secure. So why is that? It's because you know, the cap unthreads one way and the body unthreads the other way, so that you don't get confused and unthread your barrel, which I've done many times. So this is this pen. I'm not going to say much more because I have a whole video, and I think you'll love it. Coming soon to the Hemingway Jones channel. So stay tuned for that. And once again, a reminder, show note, if you're watching this, I am recording this live, but I am actually not live. I am right now in the audience listening to my daughter sing at choir, and I cannot wait because I think one of the songs that they're doing is Free Ride. So I can't wait to see my 9-year-old singing Free Ride. Who wouldn't love that? So I'm jazzed for that. It's a bit timey-wimey, wiggly-wobbly, right? Because I seem like I'm here. Even to me, I feel like I'm live on a Tuesday night, even though it's a Sunday late afternoon. And I'm actually really happy this Sunday afternoon because we decided randomly to go to the Pru. Do you know the Pru? You should. Come to Boston. The Pru is the mall. I'm not a mall guy, but I actually like the Pru. It's one of those urban malls. It's sort of two, Copley Center and the Pru, and they're linked by a walk bridge that's kind of a glass bridge that goes over Huntington Avenue, over by Symphony Hall and Christian Science Center. It's a pretty part of town. But I didn't go outside. I didn't even wear a coat because it was so nice out today. It was almost 60, which is crazy because a week ago we had 14 inches of snow. But there you have it. So what's nice is you can get on the Mass Pike, get off, and get right into the garage for the Pru. And I bought some clothes from Ralph Lauren for spring for work. Not this sweater. I already had this, but things like this. And my daughter got to go to Sephora. We all know how much she loves that. But for lunch, we had Shake Shack, which I love so much. It's kind of a more wholesome version of fast food. It's very nice. I really like it. I got Starbucks. I get a venti chai tea latte with a shot of espresso. And my wife went to a few stores too. I went into Mont Blanc. They let me back in, which was very nice. Thank you, Mont Blanc. It was very kind of you to let me in. I looked at the Romeo and Juliet display, and that pen is gorgeous, but for $2,020 I will be sitting that one out. But gorgeous pen. It's a Douai. The lid is very heavy, very nice. But what really caught my eye was the journal. The Romeo and Juliet journal looks like something out of Baz Luhrmann's film. I wish I could put a frame up. I guess I could, but I'm recording it live, so it defeats the purpose if I put overlays. But look it up. It's really cool. But I asked them, how's the paper? And the gentleman there said it's dreadful. So don't do it unless you're writing with rollerball or ballpoint. I appreciate that kind of customer service, though. Thank you. And he says that Mont Blanc is making changes, that they will shortly have better paper. So we can only hold our breaths collectively. Okay, I want to show you another pen, and then we'll get into our main topic, right? We should, right? Okay, here's another pen. I am jazzed to have this Blue Dew pen. Oh, it's a wet noodle nib. That's what I'm excited about. The pen series, I kind of forget the name. I think it's Crystal. And you'll get a full video on this soon, but it's a wet noodle nib. I'm really excited to show you how it writes. I'm not going to show you now, though, sadly. I'm still putting it through its paces, but it's a wet noodle, so I'll show you that much. Look at that. I'll show you a little more. That's kind of a jerk move. I don't want to be that much of a jerk. But imagine what a calligrapher could do. Okay, it's a wet noodle. You're going to get a whole video on Blue Do, but there's a little preview. What is it? What is it? Why am I writing that? Because I was listening to this a few minutes ago. I tend to write things that are in my mind. Do you remember Epic? That was what I was listening to. So, wet noodle. This is the wet noodle. Makes a great scribing noise. Can you hear this? Wet noodle nib. I have a lot to say about this. I guess the Flex Nib search continues. Got a lot to say about all this. Can't wait to tell you. It's going to surprise you. There's a lot going on with this. I can't wait. I need to film with it very soon. Very nice latch here, by the way. Have you used cases like this before where you drop the pen out by accident? So nice job putting the latch there. I appreciate that. So a lot to be said. Interesting pens coming to the channel. Some other ones, Pelicans, Karen. We'll be revisiting the Karen because I have a Lapra, which I'm really excited about. Timothy Chalamet got in trouble talking about opera, so hopefully I won't. But he was basically saying, no one cares about your stupid opera. That's Timothy Chalamet's opinion. Kind of a hot take. I think people like opera, and I think people would love it or wish they loved it. Because I personally look at the human voice in opera as another instrument, and I have probably about an hour of attention span, and you need a 3-hour attention span. If I went to an opera, I probably would like it. I probably would have to go to the bathroom though. That's my anxiety, to be honest. I don't like to go to movies. I don't like to go anywhere where I have to sit. I don't like to be stuck in the center of seats. I might be sitting now at my daughter's chorus with anxiety because I'm in the center seats. If I'm on an end, I'm probably very happy. And I'm probably thinking about where's the closest bathroom. That's Hemingway Psychology 101. Okay, so interesting pens coming up. Pelikan M800s, M809 for certain. I've already filmed with that in a list. And I am so excited for some of the lists that are coming up, like this week's video. The 5 fountain pens you need, and you don't need any others. You only need these 5, so stop buying fountain pens. Yes, we'll see about that. I'm curious to see what you think. Please let me know. And thanks for all the comments in the chat, which I can't see, but I know are there because you guys are awesome. And thanks for the thumbs up. And if there were any super chats in there, I am so appreciative of those. Thank you so much for helping to keep the lights on. Sorry I can't read whatever you post, but I do appreciate it so much. It really does help keep the channel rolling. So thank you. All right, I think I've probably postponed this long enough. What do you think? The Asvine V800 in brown and blue, was it? Blue and brown, blue-brown. So I'm super excited about this one because I'm wondering, is this a contender for a Pilot Custom 823? Is this competition? And I will say, that I haven't seen if it's good enough to be competition, but I'll say this, it is, even indirectly, because I think a lot of us sample our vac fills before we buy them, if you will. So we want to see whether or not we like the idea of a vac fill. So with this one, it's a easy access point because it's not terrifically expensive. I mean, these pens are priced so competitively and just so well that it's really hard to go wrong. So it's just an amazing proposition. So anytime you can get something vac fill for under 50, you're even cheaper than the TWSBIs, which also offer with the VAC 700R just incredible value there on TWSBI. Although the TWSBI is kind of chubby, right? And I know this is a big pen too, but I'm curious, is it in that ballpark or more like the Pilot Custom 823, which is not very thick. It accomplishes a pretty lean vac fill, and that's very impressive. Of course, you have Gravitas, who makes some interesting vac fills as well. So is this kind of your entree, your foray into vac fill territory? Quite possibly. So I think that's interesting. But I think there's also something interesting about this, and maybe I should talk about it while I unbox it. But here you have a vac fill pen. You have some great features here, right? So this is a company out of China who isn't just selling clones. It's selling features and prices. Okay, so right off the bat, look what you get here. In TWSBI style, you're getting a wrench and some valves. So what does that tell us? It's sending a signal. Am I wrong about this? I don't think I am. Let me know in the comments or the chat. You know, even if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments. But if somebody's giving you valves and a wrench, what they're telling you is this is a good pen. This is not a throwaway pen. This is a pen that you can have for many years, and it might need a little bit of maintenance. You might have to grease it up or change a valve here and there if you wear it out from use. So we're going to give you the tools to do so. Now, by the way, I am not going to take this thing apart with this. That is not my foray. It would be a very short video. I'd probably mess something up and have to go look how to fix it, and that wouldn't be much fun for you to watch. So maybe some future video will be me messing with it and taking it apart, but I do find it very interesting that they include this, and I think it means more than what is apparent here. It's not just them saying here's some extra wrenches and things. I think what they're saying is, look, Asvine, we're high quality fountain pens. We're not just giving you a disposable pen. We're not giving you a clone of another pen. We're giving you a pen that you can have for a very long time. So, and it looks like with that, we have some instructions, which is probably how to take it apart, which is good. I'm not going to read those because I'm a guy and I don't read instructions. I should, but I didn't. Oh, this is really translucent. It is a Pilot Custom 823 style clip there though, huh? But it's chubbier, much chubbier. You're almost in 149 territory here. I mean, definitely. Look at the size of that nib. That number 8 nib. It's a chunky one. I like this sort of vintage style feed. That is very cool. I feel like I can unscrew this. I'm not going to. I'm going to try not to break it in any way. It's bad enough I have to film it in real time, so that could be a disaster too for me. But pretty pen. I see the blue more than the brown. I do see a hint of some brown at the back here. It's very cool. Ooh, the piston feels nice. Ooh, makes that... I love the snap, you know. I can't wait to hear the sound this makes. So I will... be filling it in a couple minutes. But before I do want to give the history of Asvine. So, As I understand it, Asvine was founded in 2005 in China. And it seems to be one of those pen companies that probably made components or pieces or pens for other companies. That's generally how these things go. But they have a different story, right? They're saying that there's this gentleman named John who was very passionate about fountain pens, and he made like one-offs, and he was developing different fountain pens, and his production got larger and larger, and they kept upgrading their factories and whatnot. That could be true. I don't know. It wouldn't be the worst if it was invented as a story, because I mean, there's no Victoria, and I don't know what kind of secrets she had, although I imagine they're spicy secrets, because it's underwear, right? That's the idea. Ooh, Victoria's Secret. So is there actually a John out there? I did search to see if I could find a photo or kind of a full name for this person. If he's out there and you're watching, come on the show. I'd love to chat. But inventing a character is not the worst thing. Companies market. So I will say that it does sort of tell you something about the company's values, right? If they're even giving this message that they started out making one-off pens and developing into bigger and bigger factories, more sophisticated things and whatnot, that is a signal that they consider themselves as an ongoing, innovative pen-making company. So to me, that's very exciting, and I like what that signals. So I also like heritage and history, though. So I wish I could know the real history of a company, and maybe it is, maybe it's not. I just don't know. It's hard with Chinese pen companies to see their histories at times. They're often owned by different conglomerates and things, and they often make parts and pieces for other companies, and it just doesn't sound very romantic. Maybe that doesn't matter. I know for many of you, you're just looking for tools. You don't care about history, narratives, romance. I do. It's not my only concern. If somebody gives me a fantastic knife and they tell me to cut with it, and I cut with it and it's brilliant, I'm happy. If somebody gives me a fantastic knife and they tell me that it was used in World War II and it was a Marines, like a K-bar or something, I love a story like that. And it certainly makes for more interesting videos when I'm filming if I can pull in that kind of narrative structure. But is it wholly necessary if at the end of the day I can tell you, hey, this is an absolutely brilliant pen, it costs, $50 or less, and it can do what a pen 4 or 5 times as expensive can do? Maybe narrative doesn't matter at that point. But I don't know, I think it's interesting. I do sometimes look into these stories just to see if I can find the truth in the matter, in my limited time, but okay, let's get deeper into the pen and see what we have here. We don't have very much of a case, but these are handy actually, because you can use these to send pens back. This is interesting. Never clean your pen with alcohol, because alcohol's for drinking. So don't clean your pen with it. Fill your pen with non-carbon bottled ink. Non-carbon bottled ink. I've never checked my inks for carbon, but it's probably good advice. Carbon bottled ink, like waterproof ink, will clog fountain pen easily. Syntax is a little challenge, but that's okay. So is mine. Vacuum filling pen. Screw the blind cap all the way when you are writing. Screw the blind cap all the way when you are writing. That's interesting, because that makes it sound like they're telling you to screw it down when you're writing. Anyway. Piston fill, you do something else. But that does not concern us. Okay. I like advice. Okay, this is screwed all the way down. It doesn't seem like the valve is. This doesn't seem like a pen that has a sealing valve the way that an 823 does. So I think with this one, you don't vent it. It's not going to matter because we're not going to write that much, but I think that's what it's telling us. Okay. Here's some paper. We're going to need that. Here's some Konpeki We always need that. And by the way, a crime in my world, I just realized I'm almost out of Yamabudo. What? What kind of outrage is this? So I need to get more Yamabudo. I can try to keep my ugly hands out of it. By the way, look at my thumbs. I know this might seem funny, but don't my thumbs look better? I get really dry skin and they crack all the time and they'll bleed. And I know it's on camera quite a bit where you'll see a cut because my thumb has cracked and bled. But I fixed it, and I think I fixed it for all time. And guess how I did it? Vaseline. So it wasn't this, which I use also. I use this quite a bit, and this stuff is nice, but it's not as good as Vaseline. So I started putting Vaseline on my lips because I saw on, I think it was Wirecutter in the New York Times, that Vaseline is like the best thing for chapped lips. And I got this little bucket of Vaseline that I put on my lips. Also, my wife does that. So, but I've been putting it on my thumb because I'm a little self-conscious. I try not to offend you guys. I try not to give you like really ugly, dry hands. I usually take care of my nails. They're actually looking a little long for me, but Sunday's one of the days that I cut my nails because I don't like any white in my nails. I like to keep them like that. So, sorry for that sort of meander there, but you're going to see a much prettier thumb going forward, okay? And I'm going to try to keep my hands out of this, but what I'm going to do here is unscrew. And we're going to hope for the best, because it's very embarrassing when you get a vac fill wrong. I've done it many times, but normally I'm just filming and you never see. Okay. No, I wouldn't say that was wrong. I'd say that was pretty darn good. Now I have my shop towel, which I'm going to gently caress the pen and clean it thoroughly. Oh, well, it went a little wrong. Do you see that? Whoopsie. It probably just dripped out because I went deep. I went deep with this. You didn't see me yesterday, but I had so much ink on my hands. I forget what I was doing, but I didn't notice that there was a drop and it went very wrong. And one drop of ink can go a long way for chaos. Whoops, see? Whoopsie. Oops, I just did it again. I can't, I should have probably used a new towel. But you know, to me, this is fun because like, this is what it's like when I am recording in the back. I get it all over my hands. And people have said in the comments, like, why is it that pen reviewers always have ink all over your hands? It's mostly because of attention. It's your attention is diverted from what you're doing because you're thinking about things like what you're saying and your camera angles, and then you don't realize that there's like this huge drop of ink going all over the place, and then you put your hand in it and you spread it, and yeah, so that. I'm okay with it. I feel a little bad about this though. Hopefully I can get that off of there. Wait. Okay. Hey, the cat's here. Okay. But now we have our very, very inky hands and the Asvine V800. Hey, it writes right off the bat, even after me cleaning it, which is very nice. I want to keep recording. I don't want to edit this out because it's fun and interesting. And I think the disasters are what makes a video interesting. It's you probably wouldn't remember a regular pen review, but if I make a disaster and I get all inky, that's fun. As long as it doesn't get on my shirt, I'd be upset. I forget what size I bought here. It feels like a fine. It's a fine. It says right on it, fine. There's a big F. Ecamm, not super great at focusing in on nibs, so I don't think you can see that there's an F there, but it is a fine, and it is fine. Wow. Now, you might have seen that I kind of had a miss there. That's not the pen. That's because the paper was buckled up and I was trying to write really lightly. So I'm going to write a little with it now. Let me shut this so I get a little more light here. I'm going to write a bit with it in real time, and I want you to just see how it is. Okay, and we'll talk about it while we go. See, that was me again. I missed. The camera's also sort of in my way a little, but I don't want to make excuses for the pen. Like I really want you to see this in real time. So these nibs come in extra fine, fine, which this is a fine, and it feels very Western fine. This feels very much like a European fine. Medium. And evidently, from what I can read, not a broad, but a 1.1 stub. Which would be interesting. I should have bought one of those, but I didn't. The body is tuned acrylic. Is that how you spell acrylic? There are two L's? I think there's one L. Sorry. There we go. That looks much better. The hardware is stainless. I guess that includes this. And by the way, this is one of my obsessions. I hate when pen caps are not protected by metal when they could be. This one is. It says it's stainless. This feels very plasticky to me. I don't know though if there's a way to test it. I mean, this feels like stainless. This feels kind of plasticky, but I could be wrong. I'm so inky. The nib, of course, is steel. It's pretty smooth, pretty precise. I like the bit of shading. Do you see how it does that? Do you see this bottom? It's this E. See, it's doing the kind of a little bit of like pooling, which I really like. I like nibs with a bit of character. I would say this one has character. It's amazing how much paper I go through in this channel. So. Great scribing noise. That's pretty nice. Am I wrong, guys? I'm really digging this. I think it's pretty nice. I mean, it's pretty big, thick pen. I mean, the diameter is like 15 millimeters. So you're knocking on 149 territory there. And it's a number 8 nib, so it's a really big nib. But big nibs can be juicy. Big nibs can give you a lot of flow. The fine feels very precise. See, it's really kind of finding its tact now. Do you see that? Now we're kind of cooking with gas, if you will. Weight, I believe it's around 30. Look at my hands. I believe it's around. I'm going to put me up so you can't see my hands. See, you're looking at me, not at that. Look at that. Look at those hands. I love it. It's about 33 grams. So it's got some heft, which I like. Some pretty, I wish you could see it, but the nib's not bad. You know, it's pretty. And presumably, the one thing we kind of skip over with this. Oh, it's not medium. Sorry. It's fine. I'm so used to writing medium because almost all mine are mediums. It's fine. This fine nib, and for this affordable price, is in-house, as far as we know. That's kind of a big deal. You know, there's not too many pen brands that are affordable that are in-house, but most of the Chinese brands are, as far as we know. I do appreciate that. I definitely hold smaller pen makers to a different standard when it comes to Jowo and Schmidt and Bach nibs. Do you like Bach or Beethoven? I do appreciate that it's all in one, right? That you have a vac fill system, a nib, all this made by one company. A little lip here to keep you from sliding onto the nib because you wouldn't want your hands to get inky. And the funny thing about my hands being inky is I somehow picked up another color. Do you see that? Like, this is Konpeki. I'm not sure what that is. It could be a Clay de Saphir, but it looks more like Waterman Blue to me. I don't know where I picked that up. I don't know, but I did. And I own my mistakes. Nice weight. Very precise. I don't know. If I'm being honest, as I am, I'm not super happy with the way the cam is doing the handwriting. Can you see that okay? Yeah, okay, there you can see it. If I'm being honest, it feels very nice and it writes very nice. It's very quick. Okay, I'm writing literally on a slant here. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Yeah, I can't do that. So this is Clairefontaine paper. It's doing a great job. It feels nice and it feels very smooth. As smooth as anything. That's the thing. That's the amazing thing about many of these pens. You can opt out because you don't appreciate the country of origin or you don't feel any connection to it, because you do need to have a connection, I think, to anything that you do. And I can appreciate that. If you feel that you don't have a connection to a pen, then maybe you don't want to take that journey with it. But when it comes to brass tacks, if you will, this is as good as anything. It's a fine pen, literally. I'm writing small. The Mayfair pen has kind of guided me to write small, but look at that. It's got some character. Do you see how the ink pools here and less so there? I'll try to hold it very still. I've had a lot of caffeine today, so that might not be possible. But do you see in the beginning, those are my sailboat eyes. I love these, kind of like a sailboat eye. But do you see how it pools when you first go into it? And then on the downstroke, that's pretty nice. It's very nice. Oh, yeah, I don't know if that was me or it. I mean, you got a little bit there, right? I think it's a little edge sensitive. I'll say that. But it's good. A little bit, right? So in a way that can give you interesting handwriting because it's going fat to thin, but I'm going to write kind of recklessly. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Maybe a little bit there. Great noise, geez. Yeah, I think here and there it misses a little. Do you see that? So make of that what you will. It does give it a bit of character, and I think overall it's a pretty great pen. But here and there, oops, it does miss. I just punched my my foundation base for this. Ooh, inky. It actually looks cool with the green, doesn't it? Nice contrast. Look at my rakish collar peeking out. I'd touch it, but I'm afraid. Pretty good pen. This is the kind of thing, though, where it would benefit from using a bit more. So this is freshly inked, obviously, and put into immediate use. And I'd say it's getting like a B+ in its performance. But it still needs time, right, to super saturate the feed and all that. So I'll keep writing with it, and I'll probably report back on future live shows what I think. I do like it. It feels very nice, very high quality. It's pretty. The clip's really tight. I'd be careful putting it on something precious, like a nice journal or something. But all said, it's not a bad pen. I think my initials reactions, I will give it fit and finish. Nice, though I'm not sure about this band. Is it steel or is it plastic? It feels weirdly plasticky. I don't know. But there's no sharp edges. It looks very well made. I like the color. The piston action is brilliant. I love that it has a bit of color, although it's transparent. That's fun. That's very fun to me. Maybe I should have used brown ink. But anyway, it would have looked better on my hand, maybe. But I'm giving it, you know, B+, only because here and there, I felt like it's letting up on me. Even though it is fresh out of the box, and sometimes it takes time, as you guys know, for a pen to get going. But nevertheless, that's it in real time. You got to see it. No edits, no cuts, nothing. That's it in all of its glory and the agony of defeat. So you get it all. I do want to mention that this week, my video is 5 fountain pens that you need and you need no others. So stop buying pens. I hope you enjoy it. That's coming out this Thursday. And there will be a new live next week. And I will be back. It won't be pre-recorded as this one is. But know that I'm thinking of you, and I hope all is well in your world. I appreciate you watching tonight. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video. And if you've reached this point, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And thank you for your likes, your comments, and your super chats. I do appreciate that as well. And I will be back in person very, very soon. So thank you very much. I'll see you further up the road, so please do take care. Have a great night, and thank you.